Hi guys, welcome back. I want to do something different today. I wanted to take a slight intermission from my normal everyday content, and I really wanted to come in here real, raw myself and share why this page is so meaningful to me and why the sustainable life living, remembering who you are and what you're working for content, why it's so meaningful to me and why it's so important. All right. Now, there are parts of my story that are heavy, but I promise I'm not going to stay there. I am not going to leave it there. I merely want to share my experiences and my story so that you can understand the depth of my heart and understand the core of the message behind every single video and content that I put out. Right now, most of you know my name is Elena Bital, and I felt like I needed to say that because when you read it, it doesn't read the way it's pronounced. So my name is Elena Bital. I have been a nurse for over 15 years now. And ever since I was 13, I knew I wanted to be a nurse. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. My family knew I wanted to be a nurse. My teachers knew I wanted to be a nurse. Like, I made that decision very early on because I loved caring for people, for lack of better terms. And I did that. I went through nursing school. I poured my heart and soul into it. It did not come easy to me. I had more than one nursing professor tell me that maybe I should consider a different career, but I am stubborn. And when I want something, and I do everything in my power to make it happen. I have a feeling that I am speaking to those who can relate to that. And I graduated. I landed my dream job in the NICU. And again, I poured my heart and soul into it. I loved my job. Loved it. The 12-hour shifts, 13-hour shifts, those didn't bother me. The weekends, the holidays at the time didn't bother me because I didn't have children. In fact, I was the person who picked up all the extra time, all the overtime. I volunteered to work holidays for those who did have a family, and I stepped up for extra committees. I always raised my hand when something like a code or an infant crashing, something like I was there because I wanted the experience. I wanted to be that person that could be the go-to for questions. And then it wasn't until 2015 that I no longer recognized who I was in the mirror. And I'm not just talking about physically, I'm talking about just in general. And I remember being so insanely confused because my feeling didn't match my outside world. I had the dream job. I was dating the person I knew that I was going to marry. I had just moved in with him. Like, from an outside world view, I had it all. But internally, that feeling didn't match at all. But I didn't let people in on that feeling because I showed up. I pulled up my scrubs. I did what I needed to do when I was with my family. I was still the person everybody turned to. And I realized something needed to change, and it needed to change fast. And so that's when I stepped into just health and wellness for myself. I never really, outside of sports, I never took care of myself. But once college hit, sports went to the wayside, and then you graduate and you become an adult. And I got hit hard with the fact that ramen noodles, bagels, and pasta out of a box and snacks out of a vending machine were not nutrition. Fast forward, because that's not really a huge part of the story. Fast forward to before I share this, I want to share something a little more relatable. 2020, as a full-time working nurse in an ICU, was extremely hard, but that didn't touch my 2019, not even in a long shot. In 2019, I was pregnant with my first child, a little boy, and 3 months into that pregnancy, my youngest brother decided to leave this world on his own. And you want to talk about something rocking your life. It's that. Now, I come from a blended family, and so my step-siblings are my siblings. I do not call them step-siblings. I don't know any different. My parents have been divorced since I was 6 years old. 6 months later, I am now 8 months pregnant, and my other younger brother He ended up in the ICU. And ultimately, as a family, because he had lost his battle to addiction and due to other circumstances, we were forced with a decision to remove him from life support. Now you can imagine, losing one sibling is really hard. Losing two is insanely hard. And then a month later, I delivered my first child. And it wasn't until that moment where I was holding him in my arms that everything came crashing down really, really hard. But in the same breath, there was this insane moment of clarity that I loved what I was doing, but not how I was doing it. And that life is so insanely short that it's the little moments that matter the most. It's the people that we are working for, meaning the ones that are in our home, that matter the most. It's the family surrounding us and the friends that matter the most. And so I was forced with a decision of how can I continue doing what I do, but in a different capacity. And that's when life coaching entered my world, because it gave me a perspective I never had before. It allowed me to take a much larger view of my life, how I was working, how I was living, how I was interacting with people, and gave me this almost like magic wand of like, Elena, you actually get to choose the way in which you do all of those things. Just because this is the way you've always done it doesn't mean it's the way you have to keep doing it. That's why this channel exists. That is why I work so closely with so many high achievers. It's because just because the way you've always done it doesn't mean it's the way you have to keep doing it. And I'm here now to remind you of that. But not just remind you of that, to allow you to take a step back. Put words to what you actually want in your life, and then sustainable and tangible steps forward to actually obtain that life that you find yourself daydreaming about. And I want to leave you with this. When you find yourself driving in the car or taking a shower, those moments where you actually have the time to let your mind wander about something different, something that actually gives you life and energy, that isn't just a daydream. So before you shake it off and you snap back to reality, I want you to ask yourself one question. What is standing in your way? And truly, the only thing is you, my friend. And I say that in the nicest possible way. You are the change that you want to see in your life. It has to start with you. All right. I needed to come in here. I needed to share that story. I needed you to understand where my heart is with this content. And I need you, more than anything, to understand the depth of where I'm coming from and why I want to help you step out of that everyday grind and survival mode. Because this channel is about living your life, not performing it.